Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, October the 2nd, and we are here to look at the new releases that have been published this week. We look at a different genre every day of the week, and on Wednesdays we look at romance. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday nights. We will have them tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I get here as quickly as I can after work. I am at Mountain Time, so I start at 6 p.m. my time. Sometimes we start a few minutes early depending on traffic and walking Keo, but I do them 3 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons, for a total of 10 hours a week. Good morning, Mary. Happy Wednesday and the second day of October, still raining lightly, and flood watch, still in place. Beginning to know how ducks feel. You know, it's either one extreme or the other. You hope for rain, and then it's like, okay, we're done with rain. Frustrating. Oh, I didn't have this going, did I? We like to see the steam coming off the cups of coffee, although I would not like a butterfly that close to my drink, but that's just me. So we are looking at romance today. We're looking at love. Hope you had a good night. I finished Death in the Floating City by Tasha Alexander. I gave it 3 stars. It's 7th in the Lady Emily series. I gave it 3 stars because at the end, the person who done it sort of came out of left field, and there is a solution to a personal problem that makes your eyes roll. It's like, really? Hi, Anita. How you doing? Good afternoon. All right, first up, The Baron Who Never Danced by Barbara Russell. 5th in the Victorian Outcasts series. England, 1887. After a near-death experience in the Theatre Royal Fire, Angeline wants to find love and have a family, but her mother has other plans. Marriage is overrated. Power is the only thing that matters. Angeline is supposed to follow in her mother's steps, become the mistress of many rich lords, collect compromising material on them, blackmail them, and make a lot of money. That's the recipe for a happy life. She just wants the best for you, honey. Not for Angeline. A former cat burglar turned footman turned baron, Royston comes from the gutter, but the Queen bestows him a title after he saved her grandson from the inferno of the Theatre Royal. London's peers adore him. He's a fascinating combination of wildness and courage, and, well, the Queen likes him. But no one wants to help him get a seat in the House of Lords. After all, he isn't really one of the peers. If he wants to change society, though, he has to be in Parliament. If only a peer supported him. The Earl of Havisham proposes a deal. If Royston uses his thief skills to retrieve some compromising documents Angeline's mother has on the Earl, Lord Havisham will be Royston's champion. Royston accepts the deal. The only problem is his growing feelings for the beautiful and spirited Angeline. She has nothing to lose, but does she want to pretend to be the wife of the man who ruined her family? We don't care. She's wearing a pretty dress. I'm being facetious. Still having internet issues. We'll try to reboot today and see if that helps. Okie dokie. Good morning, Christina. How are you? Hydrate or mummify? And boo, jump scare to the like button. Thank you, thank you. Yes to the dress, indeed. Some Like It Cold by L. McNichol. After a long absence, 18-year-old Jasper is finally heading home for the holidays, and she's keeping secrets. Arthur, a budding female, is turning the town of Lake Pristine into a small-town story worthy of the big screen. His plans are disrupted by the arrival of the town's golden girl, the antagonist of his school days, a girl he's never forgotten. Jasper Montgomery is back in Lake Pristine for one reason, to say goodbye. But before long, comma, Small town tensions start to rise, and a certain brooding film buff starts to look like a very big reason to stay. And they solve the no faces cover by being cute with their hands. Marketing wise, it's more expensive to put actual features on. Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. So my question is, if it's that windy, as you look at the figures here, the snow is falling straight down though. Mhm. Snowed In, Catherine Walsh. Second in the Catherine Walsh Christmas rom-coms. Megan is dreading going home for the holidays after leaving local golden boy Isaac at the altar 4 years ago to run away to the big city. Christian hates his family's pity eyes. Every Christmas he shows up on his own. So when the two meet in a Dublin pub, they come up with a pact to be the very best fake dates for each other ever. Rules are drawn up and a contract is signed on a wine-stained napkin. They'll sit through family gatherings and be outrageously in love until freed from their obligations. Because this will solve problems, of course. After all, it's only for a few weeks. Weeks? But with two big families to deal with alongside old friends, old flames, and old feelings, things are bound to get messy. And when a snowed-in cabin and a little Christmas magic are added to the mix, anything could happen. The fake dating, fake marriage, blah, blah, blah trope is very, very popular, but it's like, really, does that solve any problems? No. Promise Me Not. Got my copy, so we're good. Okay. Me too. Details, details. I know. So I do find this cover pretty. I like the colors. I like it. I do like it a lot. Promise Me Not by Megan Brandy, second in the Boys of Avix. This is a TikTok sensation. When Peyton ran away from her hometown, she left behind her toxic mother, her senior year of high school, and the best friend who had become the love of her life, and the father of the baby she was carrying. Still, after he tracks her down, it seems like they may actually be able to become the happy family neither of them had. But then he's in a tragic car accident on his way home, and Peyton is suddenly lost in the dark, a teenage single mother with no future. When Mason Johnson meets Peyton, he's heading into his first year as starting quarterback at a D1 university. His dream for it's supposed to be as long as he can remember. But it surprises no one more than him that Peyton and her baby boy become his new dream, one he doesn't want to live without. Peyton's lost love makes things complicated, but Mason is no stranger to hard work and he's willing to fight for her. They say death ends a life, not a relationship, but can Mason convince Peyton she can have a relationship with her first love and a new life with her second? All kinds of strange there. End of row one. How to Help a Hungry Werewolf, a novel. First in the Sanctuary for Supernatural Natural Creatures by Charlotte Stein. When Cassandra Camberwell returns to her hometown of Hollowbrook to clear out her late grandmother's ramshackle old house, the last thing she expects is Seth Brubaker on her doorstep. Her former best friend was responsible for the worst moment of her high school life, and she can't imagine he wants to do anything but torment her all over again. Really, she can't imagine anything else. Until she unearths the real reason this annoyingly gorgeous beast of a man keeps hanging around. He's an actual werewolf who's certain she's the witch that will ease his suffering. You can ease my suffering. But Cassie just isn't sure if she can trust him again, so Seth offers a pact. He'll teach her all about her undiscovered magic, and she'll brew the potions he needs. No feelings, no funny business, just a witch and a werewolf striking a deal. Totally doable until they get hit with a do-or-die mating bond, and now the heat is rising in between fights with former bullies and encounters with talking raccoons. They just have to not give in, unless giving in just might be the very thing they never knew they always wanted. Heartbreak Hill. From the cover, it looks like we're going to be dealing with adults. By Heidi McLaughlin. Grayson Caballero sees the glass half empty. Born with a life-threatening heart defect, he's been living on borrowed time. The uncertainty of tomorrow makes him push people away, helping Grayson to avoid any real commitment. Then he meets Reed Sullivan and falls madly in love. The two work together at the Wold Collective, Grayson as a project manager and Reed in HR. They even live in the same apartment complex. But Grayson continues to keep his distance despite their obvious attraction, and Reed's not interested in waiting around. When Grayson collapses at a basketball game, Reed learns he's been keeping secrets from her. Well, medical things aren't necessarily your business. Now his life hangs in the balance, and a stranger from Boston holds the key to his survival. Nadia Carlson makes a life-changing decision after her husband Rafe is involved in a tragic accident near Harvard Square. Her choice will unwittingly alter the course of Grayson's future and tie his fate unexpectedly to her own. Fang Fiction by Kate Stamen London. Tess Rosenblum is no stranger to the dark. An assault survivor and grad school dropout. Being a grad school dropout is being in the dark. Tess spends her nights managing a chic Brooklyn hotel, and her days reading her favorite vampire novels, Blood Feud. She even dabbles in online conspiracies claiming Blood Feud is real. It's fun to hunt for clues, but deep down, Tess doesn't believe vampires actually exist until one walks through her door. It turns out the sexy villain of Blood Feud is trapped, and only Tess can rescue him. Eager to escape her life, Tess agrees to help, and soon she's on a secret island where the sun never shines, surrounded by deadly vampires. And the most terrifying of all, she's falling in love with one of them. Meanwhile, back in New York, Tess's estranged best friend is having a sapphic paranormal affair of her own. Visiting the world of your favorite story is any fan's dream, but can Tess outrun the demons of her past and vampires of her present before it becomes a nightmare? Etc. Questions and comments, but I'm not going to say them. Indeed. Deja Brew by Celestine Martin, third in the Elemental Love series. Ex-celebrity chef Serena Caraway has had the wackiest October ever. Her cooking powers are on the fritz. She failed to land a career-saving job, and she embarrassed herself at the town's Halloween party. Just before midnight, she makes a desperate wish for a second chance to fix her life. The next morning, Serena wakes up and realizes that she's repeating the entire pumpkin spice-flavored month. Even sweeter, she runs into Gus Dearworth, whose magic leaves her spellbound. A former reality star, Gus moved to Freya Grove to rebuild his reputation and heal his broken heart. But his restless magic is tempting him to return to the spotlight, and his secret crush on Serena is making him want to try something dangerous, like fall in love again. When Serena realizes he can help her fix her powers, Gus makes her a deal. If she'll help decipher a mysterious cookbook in his collection, he'll help her magical groove back. Do you really want to fall in love with somebody or have a relationship with somebody who has to have like conditions and let's make a deal in order to have them like you? Every encounter offers a new adventure, from tasting menus, harvest mazes, and a growing attraction that's taking on an irresistible enchantment of its own. But as the month winds down and the wish grows stronger, Serena and Gus have a decision to make. Will their second chance be their happy ever after ending, or a bittersweet memory? End of row 2. Bad Reputation. This one I got as a Kindle first month release because all the other choices were not great. By Emma Barry. Cole James's reputation as Hollywood's favorite himbo no longer suits him. His fans can't separate the real man from the character he played on a soapy teen drama decades ago. But that's going to change with Waverly, the hit streaming historical romance series. Bridgerton, anybody? Maggie Niven hates her own notoriety. I hate it. Fired for directing a divisive play, Maggie takes her fight against censorship public. When Hollywood comes calling, she becomes the new intimacy coordinator for Waverly, but it's harder than she imagined to focus on the job. Cole isn't what she expected, and Maggie is more than he dreamed of. As filming gets underway, the cast's old traumas lead to real intimacy, and Cole and Maggie struggle with feelings they shouldn't have. Having an affair on set could destroy his comeback and her new career. The show must go on, but if Cole and Maggie want a happy ending, they'll have to start doing things their own way. My other choices must have been very bad indeed. This one wins for cute title. All the Jingle Ladies by Beth Garrett. Oh, hum, indeed. Molly hates Christmas. Ever since her parents released a cheesy Christmas song 10 years ago, complete with a video of Molly dressed as the cutest little elf, December has gone from ho 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 to hoo hoo humiliating. This year takes a turn for the worse when the song of Molly's Nightmares is included on the soundtrack for the hottest new holiday film. This mortifying tune is everywhere again. And Molly tries to hide her true elf. A Christmas connection with a cute guy at the movie's premiere may make this holiday season one to remember. All she has to do is keep him from finding out the truth about the ghost of Elfmas past. But Molly isn't the only one hiding her real identity. Will her Christmas romance have a Hollywood ending, or will it be one big mistletoe mess? It still has a good title. Sheila Roberts has a new one. The Merry Matchmaker. Inspired by Jane Austen's Emma. Frankie Lane knows what's best for just about everyone but herself. Her divorced sister, Steph, who is too young to give up on love, her shy employee, Eleanor, and her daughter, Natalie, who works in Frankie's shop, Holiday Happiness, and really needs to start her own business selling the delectable chocolates she makes at home. Even her best friend, Viola, who is trying to renovate her old Victorian. Frankie knows she could help all of them if they just let her, and if all of her help didn't end in utter disaster. There are books out there that say this is a symptom of ignoring your own problems, as it's mentioned here, but truly, that's why we focus on helping other people. It's so we avoid dealing with our own issues. And it makes us feel good, not necessarily them good. Then there's Mitch Howard, the owner of the local hardware store. They've been friends ever since Frankie opened her store 9 years earlier. He got her through the nightmare when she lost her husband in a freak accident. All his husbands dying in freak accidents. And he's her favorite shoulder to cry on. He's been divorced for years, and it's such a waste of man. Mitch is the fittest, finest man Frankie knows. He's easygoing, wise, and kind-hearted. Mitch needs someone, and she's determined to help him find that someone, whether he likes it or not, because she just wants to meddle. I know better than you about your own life. I would not be her friend. Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. Lynn Painter has a new one. She's pretty popular with the younger booktubers, I think. This is a sequel to Better Than the Movies. For a few beautiful months, Wes has his dream girl, strong-willed girl next door Liz, but right as the two were about to set off to UCLA to start their freshman year together, tragedy struck. Wes was left dealing with the fallout, which ultimately meant losing Liz in the process. Flash forward months and months later, and Wes and Liz find themselves in college together. In a healthier place now, Wes knows he broke Liz's heart when he ended things, but he's determined to make her fall back in love with him. Wes knows Liz better than anyone, and he has a foolproof plan to win her back with the rom-com-worthy big gestures she loves. Only Liz will have none of it. Maybe because she's an adult. Wes has to scheme like a rom-com hero to figure out how to see her. Even worse, Liz has a new friend, a guy friend. Still, Wes won't give up, adapting his clever plans and going hard to get Liz's attention and win back her affection, but after his best efforts to him no get him nowhere, Wes is left wondering if their relationship is really over for good. Probably not. There's probably going to be a book 3. End of row 3. Last one. Best Hex Ever by Nadia El Fassi. As a skilled kitchen witch, Dina Whitlock knows her way around a pastry recipe. In fact, she runs her very own London cafe, serving magic-infused treats to her loyal customers. She is not as much of an expert on romance, thanks to the hex hanging over her head. It's hard to fall in love when your partner is cursed with a string of bad luck. But who needs love when your best friend is getting married, right? Scott Mason has returned from global travels, thrilled to embark on his new role as a curator at the British Museum. Having left London 2 years ago to recover from a devastating breakup, Scott has missed out on a lot. With his best friend's wedding approaching and Scott as best man, this is his chance to make up for lost time. Little does he expect to be enchanted by the magical maid of honor. During a romantic weekend filled with a peculiar hedge maze, palm readings by candlelight, and a midnight Halloween ritual, there's no denying the chemistry between them, but the hex still holds, and Dina knows that Scott is in danger of more than just bad luck, because she's falling hard. Will Dina be able to undo the hex before it's too late? Ooh. That's all we have. And dang, there's a butterfly near our drink again. I agree. Me too. All righty. So tomorrow we'll be looking at fantasy and science fiction. There's a lot of fantasy and slash paranormal stuff, if I remember my glimpsings right. Look at that. My timing is impeccable. Thank you. Thanks so much. Didn't hear many I would be interested in, but maybe I'm just in a grumpy mood. Hope everyone has a great day. Yeah, I'm in a, or else I've aged out. I don't know. Having been on this side of a romance, many, many years later, that kind of thing is just so minor. Maybe I'm just jaded. Maybe not grumpy, just jaded. All right. So again, we don't have any sprints tonight. I will have them tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book. Work on a project like I'll be doing, or just close your eyes after a day. I do them 3 times a week. I've definitely aged out. So I hope you have a very good Wednesday, everybody. Please read good books. If you're not reading a book that you're enjoying, it's okay to set it aside. It's just a pause. It's not any reflection of the author, you, or the book. It's just not the right time for those things to come together. It's okay. And hope to see you soon. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.